Hello and welcome to Andrew Broussard Watercolors. Today we are going to do a fast and loose watercolor painting with Daniel Smith's Burnt Tiger Eye Genuine. So we're going to be going through the value ranges and seeing what it looks like creating a monochromatic painting with it. I have a quarter sheet of Stonehenge Aqua in front of me. It is 11 by 15. It's not the Aqua, sorry, it's the 90 pound, so it's just the Stonehenge. And it is toned, I think it's the natural tone. It's just a little off-white. And I've been using this paper because I feel that having that toned surface just really helps the overall results. I just like working with it. So, let's get started. This is going to be in the style of the modern tonalist masters. Dennis Sheehan, Stuart Davies, where they take their oil paints and they wipe on and wipe off. We're going to be doing that with Wet n Wet, the watercolor, and paper towel. You are, of course, welcome to follow along. You can use really any pigment with this. And it lets you kind of learn how the pigment works, the tonal shifts that take place as it dries, how it just acts as washes. It's really just fun, let loose, while learning a whole bunch about your materials at the same time. Sometimes the scenes come out very similar, mainly because we're just painting off the cuff. We'll see. All right. So it seems like there's just a lot of granulation right off the bat, which is going to be really interesting. Since it's called the Burnt Tiger Eyes Genuine, I don't know if there was some sort of heating process or what. There's a whole bunch of different information about these inks with the different stones in them. Sorry, the watercolors with the different stones in them. Let's work with 3 groupings maybe. We'll see what happens. We'll see how it lifts back, which it's pretty good. I don't think it's really a staining pigment. It kind of looks like the, it might be the Van Dyke brown from Daniel Smith. It kind of gives that feel. Even though it's burnt, which I think usually means that it's a warmer side of things, like if you have burnt sienna or burnt umber, it's kind of warmer and redder than your raw umber and raw sienna. But it doesn't seem that warm. It's kind of a rich chocolatey brown. So like I was saying, you're more than welcome to follow along, and you can use any pigment. And you always have my express permission to sign your name to anything that I do. And you have my express permission to sell anything whenever you follow along with anything that I do. I want you guys to have fun and have money for art supplies. So art supplies are expensive. Though right now, Da Vinci brand has a great deal up on their website. A decent amount of their 37 milliliter tubes, at least in the earth pigments, are in the sub $10 range. I don't know if any other brands are running any sales at the moment, but that's a pretty good deal. And you could pick up a white gouache too from them. It's not super opaque, but it works. Let's see. So I did do a painting with the Tiger Eye Genuine, not the burnt one, and it was very low saturation. It was hard to kind of build up. I believe it did have granulation in this style. I don't have the painting in front of me, but it should be up on YouTube. If not, I'll have to do another one. Let's see. So I adjusted the lights on my table. I'm going to look through and make sure there's no reflections getting in y'all's way. Yep, we got a little bit of reflection right there. Sorry about that. Adjust that out. Let me turn. There we go. Okay. It's looking pretty true through the camera as it is in person. Sometimes it's a little off. We're getting a little reflection from the leg, shadow from the leg right there. I had to move everything off the table to do the 22 by 30 painting. So it took up a lot of space, that board. I had thought about doing a half sheet painting, but I think that'll be for later on this week, because that's going to start consuming supplies. Anyway, so let's see where we're at. We've talked about the initial color. The granulation is really apparent. It is not causing any issues staining wise. I would like to follow a tutorial of maybe a rock painting tutorial. I think Rick Sukowitz has one up, because this just looks so surface of rock, surface of the beach. It really has a nice texture to it. So if you like granulating, this one seems to be the winner so far. Now, it just had me think of something. With acrylic, I think you can mix acrylic medium into it to essentially extend the tube that you're working with. And oil paint, if it's kind of thick, you could thin it down with a linseed oil and extend the pigment that you're working with. But with watercolor, I don't know how we could really extend it while maintaining saturation. Meaning, what would it look like if we mixed in white or black, and how would that result? So with these experiments and these monochromatic paintings, you wind up using a lot of paint. They really are better suited for cheaper student grade pigments. Because of the costs and the effectiveness and the time, because you're getting a painting done in a pretty short period of time, and you can really go through a lot of paint with it. The answer to my question is probably to avoid so much wet and wet, to save some of the saturation. I feel like some areas might dry a little splotchy. That's Hammy. They're just playing around. Hammy, I'm in here, bud. Let's see. Pulling out ideas of tree trunks. I could use a clean rigger and start moving some pigment around. So I'll just let it catch some of the pigment and move it into some forms. I could scrape the paper, but avoid that for right now. We'll probably just try it out to see how it scrapes in a bit. And I could even put some pigment in with the rigger itself. It's going to go in wet and wet, and it's going to diffuse some, so just be prepared for that. Yeah, from what I recall, this one definitely has more saturation or potency than the regular Tiger's Eye. Let's darken the top of that ridge. Perhaps some stuff come down and over. Do I want to scrape? Just a little bit, just for us to see what happens. This is just the end of a cut-up credit card. I have some tools that were given to me and some that aren't shaped yet that I need to shape, but I just got to get around to doing it. Just a little bit of rock along that edge. Okay. I'll scrape out a tree. Okay. So far, no backfilling taking place. Try not to overdo it. Okay. Little hills in the back, little trees. Push it back a little bit and bring this a little bit darker, bring it forward. So we just lighten that up and we darken that to bring it closer to us. All right, so let's see how it dries and what the tonal shift looks like. All right, so it's relatively dry. We really didn't have that much of a tonal shift. It is still a little cool in some areas. That splotchiness remained, but I anticipated that. Application like that with black pigments or the Payne's Gray, which has the black in it, really seems to cause the splotchiness in that area like that. But I'm going to grab the #1 rigger. I'm going to put a tree in. Just kind of getting it to dance along as we go. This will be exploring our heavier applications. I have to put out some more pigment in a second. But it has a very ethereal feel to it. I really like that the natural texture that this paint has. The paper would be more of a probably smooth to cold press. It's really not too textured, so, and I believe texture of the paper will often result in more granulation sometimes. but correct me down below if I'm wrong. And by the way, huge shout out to everybody that supports on the Patreon. Thank you all so much. I use that support to go around and do these experiments and pick up different things to try out and film and continue the exploration. So thank you for your support, and I have some more exclusive stuff I'll be putting up there. If you want to support this channel, check that out. I have my light kind of coming from back here. We'll do a shadow coming back. Put out some fresh paint. So this is the number one, just kind of moving around. I like to do a secondary tree to support that tree. I'm really not sure where that came up. It might have been from Chinese brush painting. I've been looking at a lot of Andrew Wyeth, especially after Stuart Davies did a demo after one of his paintings. And he did a mixture of watercolor and egg tempera. And I'm curious just how he managed to paint some of those trees so lifelike, and then some of them within the same paintings just had simple washes in some areas, and then super lifelike trees. Let's do a little light wash flicking around. I think I want a little dark aspect right in here. Kind of offset the darker tree right there. A little bit of its growth. It's like a little fog hanging over the water. A little bit of texture. A little bit of foliage. Set that base back. I want to do another stronger tree here. Maybe even build up a sense of depth in a spot, since I'm starting a little bit lower, not exactly passing over previous ones behind it. It just kind of makes a grove. Let's just have the blush come out here. All right, so this is just pure pigment. And this will be the last touches. We'll do a dry off, see how it looks when it dries, and then we'll sign it. So I hope you enjoyed. And if there's anything you want me to do, or if you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, let me know in the comments below. I'm very happy with this pigment. This one's a really nice one. Ranson. A few trails coming up. And I think we'll pause, we'll dry, and we'll see. All right, and there we are. Once again, hope you enjoyed, and have a great day. Broussard. Today is the 26th. All right, y'all take care. Bye.